Hi, everybody. I read a book by Viktor Frankl entitled Man's Search for Meaning. And if you haven't read that book, I suggest you take the time to read it. In that book, Viktor Frankl talks about the power of purpose. He talks about man's most dominant motivation is a search for meaning. And a lot of us are searching for meaning. When a person finds a sense of meaning or a sense of purpose, it creates resilience, it creates fortitude, and it creates hope. And so, what we find ourselves is when a person doesn't know their purpose, and I love what Miles Monroe says about this, when purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Simply meaning that a lot of us abuse ourselves with drugs. We waste our talent. We waste our time. We waste our efforts. We get involved in the wrong relationships, all because we lack a sense of meaning. We don't know what we're here for. And so, in this time, I want to challenge you to take the time to figure out what your purpose is. Because the lack of purpose causes a lot of ailments, like I mentioned, disengagement at work, burnout after work. It can cause alcoholism. It could cause all kinds of addictions, all because you don't know your purpose. So rather than going on this journey to try to seek purpose, because I know some of you are saying, man, I'm going to figure out my purpose. And some people will take a sabbatical. Some people go into the wilderness and they're trying to find their purpose. I would say there's a simpler way to figure out what your purpose is. And I'll kind of share with you the three ways that people find their purpose. One, it's revelation. So that's an epiphany. Something happens, some miraculous thing. You get a vision or a dream. That's an epiphany or that's a revelation. The second way is through relationship. Somebody helps them by saying, hey, I think you ought to do this with your life because you're wired this way, or because I see this in you. Or they, have them, they just ask you to, they recruit you on their team, and all of a sudden you find a sense of purpose doing that thing. So, but I'll give you a third way to figure out what your purpose is, and that's the refinement of your gift. I'll say that one more time. That's the refinement of your gift. So this one, the two I mentioned are out of your hands. Like, you don't know when a revelation is going to happen for you. You don't know when you will have a relationship where somebody sees more in you than you see in yourself. You can't determine that, but you can determine the third one, which is the discovery and the refinement of your gift. So you start with your gift if you're trying to find purpose, and you find a way to use that gift to serve other people, whether that's voluntarily or whether that's at a job or at work. Find out what your unique gift is and use it to serve other people. At the end of the day, your purpose is to use your gift to serve others, to make an impact. And that impact typically will send ripples, whether it's around the world or whether it's in the workplace or whether it's in your family or whether it's in generations to come. So I want to challenge you today in your search for meaning and purpose. The answer is not going on a sabbatical. The answer is not in a vacation. The answer is figuring out what you have in your hands. What is your unique gift and using that? And I know on the piggyback of that, there are a lot of people who are, I would say, in work that doesn't align with who they are. A lot of times they're miserable, not because it's too much work, not because of the people around them. It's because their gift is not aligned with their work. And so your gift becomes a very powerful instrument, a very powerful tool to finding out what your purpose is. So, challenge today, discover your gift, figure it out, and then invest in developing that gift and serving it to the world. And inevitably, you'll make an impact that leaves you feeling that you found a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, and that you're making a difference in the world. Well, this is Sam Odushalu. Thank you so much for the time. We will circle back with something else, another nugget.